A new survey from ufology research says more than 500 reports of unidentified flying objects were reported in Canada last year. Most of the sightings were of unexplained lights in the sky. And joining us now is science journalist Chris Rutkowski. Good morning, Chris.
Good morning.
Thanks for joining us.
Glad to be here.
So tell me about these reports. 570, that's across the country, right?
Right, 570 across the country, a little bit more in Quebec and the Maritimes than usual. Manitoba's a little bit down.
Okay.
But overall, we're sort of retaining our status. We're status quo. People are still seeing things.
Okay, so what are they seeing exactly?
Well, there's everything you can imagine. Triangular objects. There was a hexagonal thing that an astronomer saw pass in front of the sun. There are a tic-tac. You've heard about these tic-tac objects. There was one that was seen in Quebec. And then a pilot saw something over the Toronto airport that was spherical, seemed metallic, didn't know what it was, and reported it to air traffic control.
So these aren't just regular folks at home, sitting in the backyard drinking beer, making reports. These are high-tech people, pilots that are seeing weird things that can't be explained.
Well, the average person does see things. We do get reports from all walks of life, butchers, bakers, candlestick makers, everybody, people sitting at home, certainly. But we do get reports from pilots. In fact, fairly recently, there were a lot of pilots seeing things over Canada, lights that didn't seem to be satellites or other aircraft that air traffic control didn't understand what those were. And pilots are coming forward seeing these things. So it's true. People with pretty good visual and identification skills are seeing things as well.
Do you think that people are more open-minded about this kind of thing these days?
Well, I hope so, because about 1,000 people in Canada saw UFOs last year. 1 in 10 Canadians believe they've seen UFOs. That's a pretty good significant fraction of everybody who's out there. And, the scientists are taking a closer look at this, too. In the United States, we have Sky Canada project here in Canada that's going to be issuing a report a little bit later on. I spoke with them recently. They're, developing some ideas and trying to understand what is going on and how Canada can contribute to the discussion about UAP and UFOs.
When it comes to UFOs, we have really an interesting history here in Manitoba. You want to share some of the stories that they're fairly older, but they're still really interesting.
Well, some of the stories that are older, some of the most puzzling. There's a story of Stefan Mihalik out at Falcon Lake, 1967. He said he was burned by a Hollywood-style flying saucer. It was investigated by the RCMP, National Defense. It was investigated by a number of other agencies. Even the United States Air Force came up to take a look. And the eventual, pronouncement by DND and RCMP was that they did not have an explanation for what had occurred.
And he talked about it until the end.
He did, and we looked at his medical records. He was examined by a number of doctors. There was radiation found at the site. It had all the great memes and tropes of ufology.
Okay, well, what do you want people to know? If they see something in the sky that can't be explained, what should they do?
Well, get an idea of what's going on. What time is it? Is there anybody around who can watch it with you? Copy some details and let us know. We need the data. You can contact us at CanadianUFOReport.com.
All right, and of course you have all the social media as well available to people.
Absolutely, there are many different ways to contact us.
Thank you, Chris.